Royals general manager Dayton Moore. And Dayton, when you look at what your job entails, you're pretty much the architect of this. What does it take to design and to build a championship team and a championship atmosphere? And these guys hoping to persevere all the way to the World Series once again. General Manager Dayton Moore, thank you so much for joining us, guys. Let's go back to you. Here with Royals broadcaster Rex Hutler, and I'll tell you what, Hud, we've seen this once, but it seems like year number 2, that momentum just kept on going from last year, and this city is all abuzz.
D, it never gets old. Are you kidding? It's so hard to capture a crown.
Yeah, no question about it, Frank. I think what we saw was a championship caliber team come out here with their backs against the wall. They stayed calm, they stayed focused, and they never gave up. And neither did these Royals fans today. When you look out here from start to finish, 40,000 plus here to cheer on this team, and it really fed down onto the field. And this team never looked back. They never looked down. Even when they were down, they came out fighting, and that's what it's all about. That's what it's going to take for the Royals to continue to win and possibly take this ALDS against the Astros. I got to tell you, though, Frank, they look like a team that you can see where the future is for Houston. They've got a lot of talent, a lot of young players on this ball club, but I think the experience of the Royals prevailed today. And sometimes it's that little experience, being under the pressure, being in the spotlight, the primetime games, the great crowds, the noise, how to deal with that, and the Royals really did come through today. You've got to have some things go your way. The ball has to bounce your way. We saw that with the era at shortstop in the 8th inning, but nonetheless, the Royals made it all happen. They made it work, and they kept their foot on the gas pedal, which is the most important thing, and that's why they were able to win it today. I wore this jacket every time they clinched and poured champagne on it, so I wore it today, and hopefully it'll get drenched once again.
I wonder what that smell was.
The smell of victory.
Okay.
That's what it is.
That's pretty good.
You're going to show us how this all got done.
It was a crazy night. It was a crazy night last night and then a crazy day today, and I know a lot of people were actually at work. You may have slid on off to the side and said, well, let me go try to catch a little bit of the game, but just in case you missed it, you saw one of those great games out of the Royals today. It was game 4, and we'll pick things up in the top of the first. One off for Ben Zobrist. He steps up and steps out. The 2-run homer that travels 416 feet. KC hops out to a 2-0 lead. Later in the inning, the only thing harder than hitting the knuckleball is trying to catch the knuckleball. And this one gets past Russell Martin. Lorenzo Cain beats the tag to make it 3-0 Royals. Keep in mind, Locane's the 3rd batter of the game. Royals would score on another sac fly in the 2nd inning. How about Alex Rios? Muscles up against his former team to make it 5-0. Royals open things up in the top of the 7th. Lorenzo Cain drives in another run. His postseason hit streak stretched to 13 games. Royals score 4 runs in an inning for the 2nd time in the ball game. Cain hit another RBI in the 8th to make it a 12-2 ball game, and well, 14-2 will wind up being the final. Game 5 tomorrow afternoon. It's the same time, 3:07. Well, the K's also going to be ringing and rocking, and the Royals trying to get into their 4th ever World Series. And Frank, you were here at 85 covering that series, and that generation of Royals fans were used to winning, coming up through the 70s and in 1980 going to the World Series and back in 85. Now we got a whole new generation of Royals fans who really don't know much about the winning. Of course, they had last year and this year. Have you noticed a difference between those two generations of Royals fans from the 80s and the ones from today?
In 85, I was covering this team in 1985. You have a great story to tell about Game 2
of the World Series. Yeah, Game 2, you know, I was fortunate enough, my uncle played pro ball, and he was good friends with Ozzie Smith. Ron Jackson used to play for the Twins and the Angels, and he was friends with Ozzie Smith, and Ozzie left us some tickets, and I got to sit right behind the foul pole in left field, so I was ducking and dodging the whole time. Danny Jackson pitched that game, and, you know, it was just a great experience to be able to go to the World Series, and looking forward to going to another one this year.
There you are. Okay.
You got it, man. Big time hustle today. You on first base, you just keep running. I thought Jersh's arm was going to pop out of sight.
Yeah, I was definitely surprised when he was sending me. Like I said, I just kept continuing to hustle all the way. At the same time, that's happened this postseason. So I'm just doing my part, trying to hustle, and I definitely trust Jersh 100%. And he's been doing it all year. Great seeing by him.
I asked you before you went to Toronto, was it more difficult the second time around? What do you feel about it now that you've gotten this AL championship?
That was the thing. You know, we knew coming into the season it wouldn't be easy, but guys had one goal, and that's get back to the World Series. And like I said, we've been playing hard all year long, playing great baseball, played another great game tonight, and like I said, we're going to the World Series. It's going to be awesome.
You know, we were looking at the New York Post here today, and if you take a look at the back page, that's a picture of Jacob deGrom And this is exactly what the Royals have done to all of their opponents in the postseason. You see these teams come in with high energy like the Astros did. The Blue Jays had some high energy from time to time, and the Royals just zap these guys. They'll take their best pitcher and literally just punch him in the mouth. And you see these teams get so winded and so down and so frustrated, and that's what the Mets are right now, down 2-0 to Kansas City. Yeah, certainly 2 flamethrowers on the hill tonight, and when it's cold like this, batters are a little bit more reluctant to take that full swing. Those bats get jittery, they get cold, there's vibrations. But you know what? What's happened in the last few weeks, the Royals batters, especially guys like Eric Hosmer, guys like Alex Gordon, what they've started to do is tape their bats. They've got a little grip on the bat, which cuts down on that sting, which is going to be very important, especially against a guy like Syndergaard, because, as you said, he can bring the heat late in the ball game, 97, 98, 99. He's hit 100 miles per hour, especially later in the game. So it's going to be very close tonight as far as these batters keeping those hands warm and keeping those bats red hot.
Yeah.
No question about it, but that's how Kansas City fans come out. They come out and represent. And Frank, I got to tell you, the first thing off I want to let you know is I am so Kansas City that I actually had Kansas City barbecue for breakfast today, and that's how we're going to have to take care of these Mets. We're going to eat them up like Kansas City barbecue.
They've been doing that the entire time.
I wanted to bring in D. Jackson because you just got out of the clubhouse, and I could tell because the champagne scent it's a new cologne or no?
Well, Mike, I've mentioned it before. It's not the new and fresh, the fresh champagne. It's actually soaked in and savored champagne. This is the jacket that I wear only when there's a champagne situation. So, of course, I did bring it today, and it is newly drenched with champagne. And we are world champions as well. They gave me a cap to put on.
Now, what was it like down there? We saw some of the video, but what was it like down there?
In a word, it was phenomenal. I mean, let's just call it what it is. 30 years to wait for a championship and to go last year and not be able to finish it. And this was the year that the Royals were kind of thrown away in spring training. Nobody picked the Royals to win the World Series or to even be in the World Series. So for them to get back at it and get back to the World Series, the monkey's off their back. These guys are truly champions. That's something that no one can ever take away from.
And by the way, they had to do it in true rally Royals fashion. I mean, here we are in the ninth inning, and we tie this game and send it into extras.
It's just what they do. They are the most resilient group of guys in all of baseball. They never give up. We've seen them do it in the 7th inning. We've seen them do it in the 8th inning and the 9th inning. And they just don't stop. It's just that never quit, that never say die attitude. And I asked some of the new guys like Ben Zobrist and Alex Rios, what is it about this team that makes them so special? And they say it's that winning culture. The Royals truly do have a winning culture. Even though they haven't been to the World Series or won the World Series since 1985, they talked about that tradition of those guys in the 70s and the 80s that really made the mark. And fans have come to expect that once again. And it's a great time. And I'm going to tell you, we are witnessing a very special moment, not only with this gentleman here, but we are witnessing a very special time in Kansas City baseball. So hats off to the Royals, hats off to the organization, to the management, to everyone who does what they do to bring you quality baseball each and every day out there at the K.